And before we begin, as always, a very special thank you to my Patreon and Kofi supporters, Poner and Timey. Poner wanted me to congratulate Lloyd's Kirk as the most giggity-able role of the season, and to shout out this really classic YouTube poop of the episode. I'll just play a little so you can get a feel for what he's talking about.
I got a neck chopper, stuck on, put my sword through Sulu. Check into a Priceline hotel and watch Hulu.
I have no words, that's just comedy. And Timey wanted me to say, quote, my favorite episode of Star Trek was when Kirk and Spock went on a really cool trek through the stars. I have not actually seen Star Trek, end quote. And that is a really brave thing to admit on the internet, so thank you, Timey. If you'd also like your own cool custom artwork and to leave a comment before an episode, support me on Kofi or Patreon, and let's begin. I feel like I'm saying it every episode, but you can see the budget more and more every single time. I mean, look at it. It's literally space. We went from this to this in like a year. And then this. Sure, it's just a little model ship in front of a green screen, but having this actually fairly cinematic intro with space for Captain Kirk and then a wooden ship on the ocean for Columbus, I just think it's really great. Also, I love the theming of this matchup. It's exactly what this show was made for. Two famous explorers, one real, one fictional, one from space, one from the oceans, one a captain, and one a... What the heck was Columbus, actually? Apparently an admiral. Sure.
Captain Kirk!
I don't mean to ogle, but like, damn. Lloyd's pecs are going crazy in this shirt. Good for him, he's been working out. Also, the Captain Kirk costume literally looks better than in some episodes of the actual Star Trek show, so kudos to the production crew. And Peter's Columbus looks good too. Not as ripped as Lloyd, but what can you do there? Peter's a bit of a noodly boy. And I'm not well versed on 15th century Italian attire, but to me, this seems fine enough, especially for a season 1 ERB video.
Arrivederci, I'm gonna leave before this battle begins.
Arrivederci means goodbye in Italian. Jump scare. Now, this seems like more a neutral line, but as we learned from Mr. Rogers, never underestimate the devastating effects of a good power move. In a rap battle setting, you have to appreciate any way that a rapper can start their verse in a way that stands out and shifts the balance of the song in their direction. And literally leaving the frame and stopping the music, yeah, that's pretty effective. So we'll do a point, it's a good opener. I do wish he said more here than the basic I'm gonna beat you type line. It could have combined with the opener to create an easy 3-pointer, but we'll have to settle for the neutral on this one.
I'll show you how a real explorer handles a situation.
Just setup and generic bragging, but maybe a clever little double meaning in the wordplay. Real explorer here could both mean you're bad at exploring while I'm good at it, and also I'm real in history and you're fictional. But I'm not entirely convinced the line was written with that intention, and even if it was, it's nothing really to write home about. So still neutral.
I'll beat you so bad they'll feel it in the next generation.
It's just another I'm gonna beat you line, this time in the very literal sense, but I do like the use of a Star Trek The Next Generation reference, even if it is shallow. I think the line sounds very good, so I'm awarding another point, albeit possibly the flimsiest positive I've ever given in the series so far.
Bring it on, I'll rip you like a Klingon.
Oof, that sucked. Trying to reference the Klingons, the alien race in Star Trek famous for their fighting capabilities and disposition towards war. But it's the third I'm gonna beat you type line in a row, and the translation of the word Klingon rings really hollow when they don't even do a proper pronunciation in Klingon. And I'm not an expert, I'm not even really a Trekkie, but I'm pretty sure it would be pronounced more guttural and stilted and with a kind of hiss at the beginning. No, I will not be showcasing this. Back to the rest of the line, I know whip is being used metaphorically, but I feel like an easy rewrite could have worked in a reference to the blades the Klingons are famous for using. I think, all told, it's a pretty big missed opportunity, and I'm saying minus a point.
My rhymes will burrow in your ears like the wrath of Khan.
The grammar here is all messed up. So, I get what we're trying for. It's a reference to the Seti eel larva from the Wrath of Khan movie, which is a parasitic creature that burrows through the ear and attaches to the brain, causing the host to essentially become placated and thus easy to manipulate. Very cool and very iconic scene. But either Columbus should have said, burrow in your ears like in the Wrath of Khan, unless the Wrath itself is doing the burrowing. Or, way better, just reference the damn eels. Here. I'll burrow in your ears like the SETI spawn. Took 2 seconds for that. I swear, so many times I get the impression they're terrified of making references that'll go over people's heads. But then sometimes they'll drop the second law of thermodynamics or reference the intolerable acts. That's probably the worst part of season 1, the overall shallowness and surface level of the references. It's something the show gradually improves upon as they learn to trust their audience, but it's so rough when you hear a line like this. And I know that sure, most people won't know the name of these things, but it's Wrath of Khan, the most famous Star Trek movie. Just use a little bug prop and people will gather from context clues what you're talking about. I'm a bit frustrated on this one, and it's a negative point.
I got a neck chopper, Spock, I'll put my sword through Sulu.
These lines are weird because it partially works and partially doesn't. So of course, Spock and Sulu are two major Star Trek original series characters. Also, hello to our favorite director of photography, John Na as Sulu. And hello to one-time guest Omar Garibay, and sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Omar is another Maker Studios alum, as well as younger brother of Kasim G, who hasn't showed up yet, but trust me, who we will eventually be talking about down the line. Back to the references, the sword through Sulu bit is actually pretty great. Sulu famously can sword fight, so there's a dramatic irony to him being run through. And while Columbus isn't specifically known for his sword skills, he certainly both was armed with a sword and would have known how to use one. So that all works. But the neck chop for Spock, that's a different story. I can't tell if it's trying to reference the Vulcan neck pinch that Spock uses or if it's a reference to the general janky fighting that Star Trek is known for. Probably the first, but since it's again a poorly researched and implemented reference, it doesn't manage to land. I think things all balance out to a neutral though.
Check into a Priceline Hotel and watch your factors on Hulu.
Damn it, Peter, you're missing easy points. This should have been a 3, but the delivery's so bungled and it goes a little wonky because the battle is Columbus versus Kirk. But this is squarely a diss aimed at William Shatner, the actor behind Kirk, and not the character himself. So William Shatner, man, myth, musical legend, has done many things in his life which one might recognize him for. But in the 2000s, one of his biggest recent roles was as the which I know may have acted as a sleeper agent phrase for one or two of you out there. It certainly was for me. It was a recurring role in the commercials for Priceline, which is a company with a similarly varied history, but which is most well known for its travel services, hence the Priceline Hotel reference. The Hulu line fits in with this as well, with Poner from the ERB Discord and Layepic confirming for me that Hulu was the main platform to stream Star Trek on until Paramount Plus a few years back. And Hulu continues to host both Boston Legal and a Hulu original series called Unexplained, so clearly Shatner has had some sort of long-standing contract with them. The bars as a whole work well to paint Shatner as a sellout, and the little extra fat-ass dig works to demean him further. But again, it is weird that we've switched from attacking Kirk the character to Shatner the man, and the disc could have probably been rewritten to be a 3-pointer, but it's still pretty effective and will at least do a point.
I'm the enterprising Captain James Tiberius Kirk.
So Shatner is famous for his, we'll call it exaggerated acting style. He famously loves his dramatic pauses, big hand gestures, and unhinged facial expressions, all of which are hallmarks of any good Captain Kirk impression. There's an argument that Lloyd goes overboard with it in this battle, but I'm chuckling over here too loudly to hear it. And for what it's worth, Peter's Italian accent is totally fine for Columbus, but I wouldn't call it a standout, whereas I do think Lloyd's impression deserves an overall mention and probably an extra overall point for the performance. I think he just kills it, and it adds an interesting extra dimension to the actual rapping with those pauses and odd phrasings making the whole structure fairly unique.
Representing Riverside, Iowa, planet Earth.
God, the impression is still just cracking me up. Not a point, but Kirk is in fact from Iowa, so this is accurate lore.
I hear you call yourself an explorer, but I'm just not having it. You discovered a new world that was already inhabited.
My God, set phasers to get fucked. So yeah, Columbus famously was attempting to circumnavigate the globe, but messed up because he did his math wrong, thought Earth was smaller than it was, and landed in the Caribbean thinking it was India. A really funny cut down of Columbus's abilities as an explorer rooted in actual historical fact, and I'm awarding a 3.
Why don't you boldly go someplace you've never gone before, like India?
Love this beam effect for Mini Kirk.
Or any destination you've actually set sail for.
This is a continuation of the last line, and I'm not giving another 3 since that would be a bit of double counting, but I'll do an extra 1 because it continues to successfully hammer home that Columbus is not good at his job.
Or you spaghetti eating.
What? Alright, so we're randomly being kinda racist now. Yes, Italy is known for its pasta, and yes, spaghetti did exist in the 1400s, and yes, Columbus likely ate it. But as much as I do love a good marinara, this line is not sitting right with me. It comes kind of out of nowhere and just feels a bit offensive in a bad way, and it doesn't even flow well. I'm taking a point off.
How's your spice rack doing?
Don't love that line either. But I guess it does make some sense. A major trade item from India was the variety of spices which are not able to be produced in Europe. Being able to own and use these spices would have been considered a luxury commodity among European nobles, and Columbus likely would have possessed some sort of spice rack to signify his status. However, the line as it stands doesn't provide that context. It only tangentially connects to the spaghetti in that they're both food, and that line was kind of a bad one to start with, so I don't think continuing with that train of thought is a great choice. And sonically, I think the line also kind of sounds bad again, so sadly, I think we have back-to-back negatives here.
I'll be chilling in my spaceship. Have fun canoeing.
Yeah, that's pretty fair. It's a brag that's kind of an easy layup for Kirk. I literally have a spaceship and you literally use wooden boats. Not the most exciting point, but it is what it is.
You know, rapping against you, it's not even a fun. It's like somebody setting your brains on stuff.
Referencing Kirk's style of speech, which I noted earlier, while also breaking the fourth wall. I think it's a really solid diss and another one of those power moves that Peter's getting really good at using. Screw it, I'll say a 3.
I am the fabric of history. You are a fictional state.
I'm not willing to jump right now into any Christopher Columbus discourse about whether or not he deserves to dub himself the fabric of history, but what I will say is, as always, I'm not a fan of the I'm real, you're not diss. I believe I have a whole rant about it in episode 2. And while I understand what Columbus is saying here, claiming the main character of one of the most culturally significant shows of all time, played by someone as world-renowned as William Shatner, as just a fictional stain, is dishonest at best. I'm saying a negative, could be neutral, but the line just really doesn't work for me.
I'll stick a flag up your ass and claim you for Spain.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Columbus had a habit of claiming already owned land for the Kingdom of Spain, who was his employer. The line is kind of just another I'm gonna beat you, but it's pretty funny and has the visual gag element, so I'm awarding a point.
Mr. Spock, beam me back to 1492 so I can beat this man like it's my job.
Oh my god, I don't know what to do here because I'm not usually into the random physical violence threats, but this one is written and performed in such a funny way. And both the beam me back and the calling up Mr. Spock are great Star Trek incorporations. Heck, I'm giving a point, just for the vibes. The line makes me happy.
We'll see how Isabella likes my captain's log.
Not in love with it, Kirk was portrayed as a bit of a playboy in the show, and Isabella was the Queen of Spain who employed Columbus, so it all makes sense, but I think I dislike the captain's log double entendre too much for a point. We'll say neutral.
Kobayashi for you. There's no way you could win.
It's another I'm gonna beat you, but this time a solid reference to the Kobayashi Maru, which is a test at Fleet Academy in Star Trek which is supposed to be impossible to win, allowing an examination of a student's reaction to a no-win scenario. It's a clever reference, but I don't think it's quite clever enough here for a point. But it's close. Very, very close.
When your weak crew sees me approaching, they'll be like, damn it, it's Jim.
And maybe taking a little goodwill from the last line, but again, this one just passes the vibe check. It's really funny and well acted, and I'm giving it a point.
I'll double fist punch you, flame making bitch.
I can't believe I'm not giving this a point, but I'm just not in love with it. Yeah, it references the clunky fight choreography of the show, but slave-making bitch is such a weak burn considering the actual context of, well, stuff that Columbus did. I don't know, I'm unimpressed, so neutral. Also, shout out to Mary Doodles, head of props and costuming, as the hot alien. Come on, guys. Anyway, good to see her on screen in a proper battle.
Now, take your genocidal ass off of my brain.
It's almost there, but the line is kinda weak and tonally doesn't fit with what's actually being referenced. It's a very serious topic, and for me, the line kinda lands with a bit of a dull thud, especially as the verse closer. I guess I'll still say a neutral to round things out. This battle is solid. It's your meat and potatoes, no frills, gets the job done epic rap battle. I feel like opportunities were missed on both sides, with Columbus both not dissing the show and not dissing William Shatner as much as he probably should have, and Kirk also not hammering Columbus on the bad things he did, his career failures, and negative impacts he's had on the world. It's all just too surface level, a recurring ERB problem especially prominent here in season 1. You have one of the most famous fictional characters and one of the most famous historical figures in this battle. The general audience knows them enough that you can make some deeper cut references, I promise. Despite these issues, there is still a lot to like on display. Great visuals and costumes, great theming, and regardless of the lines, Lloyd knocks it out of the park in his actual Kirk performance. Still, it all just makes me wish both these figures, especially Kirk and frankly the whole Star Trek franchise, could get a redo. It's not even that potential was squandered here, it's that it remains completely untapped. Makes me want to walk up to Lloyd and Peter and talk to them directly. Ask some questions, make some suggestions. Where are those guys? I want to give them a piece of my mind. Oh, hey. Yeah, no, everything's great. Oh, you'll be addressing the audience directly next episode? Oh, it's gonna be kind of meta? Yeah, sounds like a great, not weird at all idea. Okay, bye-bye. Oh, thank God those guys are gone. Jeez, they acted like they run the Sears or something. Anyway, before they come back, like, subscribe, check out my Patreon, and I'll catch you next time.